Okay, let's just imagine for a second that you're standing right in the middle of a vast desert. The golden sands are literally stretching endlessly in every single direction. You've got that hot wind blowing against your face, carrying what feels like the whispers of a completely ancient civilization. And there, right in front of you, stands something so massively, impossibly perfect that you can hardly believe your own eyes. We're talking about a structure that has stood for over 4,500 years, defying time, surviving storms, and outlasting entire empires. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the source material surrounding one of the absolute greatest mysteries of human history, the Great Pyramid of Giza. We're going to unpack the data, the architecture, and all those wild anomalies that still have brilliant scientists scratching their heads even today. 2.3 million. That is the magic number here. So about 4,500 years ago, a king named Khufu, who, by the way, was viewed by his people as a literal living god, ordered the construction of a monument designed to last for eternity. Talk about an impossible challenge, right? I mean, there were no trucks back then, no cranes, no modern steel tools. Yet this pyramid was built using 2.3 million massive blocks of stone. And we are definitely not talking about easily lifted standard bricks here. Each of these stones weighed anywhere from 2.5 to 15 tons. To put that into perspective for you, every single block was roughly as heavy as 2 adult elephants. Combine all that, and the total weight of this monument comes to a staggering 6.5 million tons. Just wow. So let's actually dive into the math on this for a second, because this is where the sheer scale of the project truly breaks the mind. The Great Pyramid stands as tall as a 50-story skyscraper, and historical records indicate it was built in just 20 years. Let's crunch those numbers. If you have 2.3 million stones laid out over exactly 2 decades, that means these skilled laborers would have had to perfectly place one giant, elephant-sized stone every 2 to 3 minutes, day and night, nonstop, for 20 years, without a single piece of modern machinery. How on earth did they lift tons of heavy stone across the sand and stack them so incredibly high? It's wild. And this right here perfectly illustrates the core mystery of human progress. The source material highlights this incredibly sudden, unexplainable leap. Think about it. Just 5,000 years ago, humanity was basically living in simple farming villages, making small mud brick homes. Then, almost overnight in the grand scheme of history, around 4,500 years ago, Egypt suddenly explodes into a massively advanced civilization. They're suddenly deploying advanced mathematics, astonishing engineering, and an understanding of astronomy that we honestly still struggle to fully comprehend today. It's almost as if someone, or something, just handed them an encyclopedia of advanced physics completely out of nowhere. Section 1. How was it built? The mainstream theories. So, moving 6.5 million tons of rock without modern trucks or cranes? Yeah, that's a logistical nightmare even for top-tier modern engineers. So how exactly did a newly advanced civilization pull it off? Well, scientists and engineers have spent centuries trying to answer this. Let's systematically break down the mainstream attempts to explain this engineering miracle. First up, the external ramp theory. Did they drag these stones up giant mud brick ramps using wooden sleds and water to reduce friction? Well, the major flaw there is that an external ramp would have to be significantly larger than the pyramid itself, and there is zero physical evidence of it left behind. Okay, what about the internal spiral ramp theory? Did they build hidden tunnels, kind of like a staircase inside? It's a super fascinating idea, but again, absolutely no physical proof. Finally, there's the water transport theory. Did they use Nile canals to float the stones close to the site? Sure, maybe. But even if they did, how did they lift a 15-ton stone 50 stories into the air? As you can see, none of these theories fully explain the absolute miracle standing out there in the desert. Section 2. Secrets inside the stones, the hidden architecture. Moving from the massive, sweeping scale of the exterior down into the claustrophobic and deeply mysterious interior, let's walk through these spatial mysteries step by step. Because you see, the Great Pyramid isn't just one big solid block of stone. It is a literal labyrinth of hidden passages, secret tunnels, and strange doorways that seemingly lead nowhere. First, deep underground, you have the subterranean chamber. Then, right above that is the Queen's Chamber, which features these totally bizarre, tiny shafts that lead upwards but are way too small for a person to ever fit through. Then, at the very heart of it all, is the King's Chamber. It's this dark room made entirely of unyielding red granite, housing a gigantic, completely empty stone sarcophagus. But here is the major catch. The sarcophagus is actually too big to fit through the doors. It literally had to be placed there before the pyramid was even built around it. And finally, step 4. Back in 2017, advanced scanning technology revealed a massive, hidden void inside the pyramid that's actually larger than the king's chamber itself, yet it remains sealed shut, and the government has forbidden any further investigation into it. Talk about a cliffhanger. Now, because human explorers obviously cannot navigate the pyramid's tiniest, most suffocating shafts, modern scientists had to get creative and send remote-controlled robots into the darkness. One of the most famous missions involved a robot named JD, which traveled up a incredibly narrow shaft from the queen's chamber. Deep, deep in the heart of the stone, the camera transmitted back just an unbelievable image. It found a tiny stone door, completely sealed, with two little copper handles. The robot managed to drill a very small hole, pushed a camera through, and what it found was a hidden chamber covered in unexplained red markings. Ancient symbols, completely unseen for millennia, left by builders in a place no human was ever meant to reach. What exactly were they trying to hide? Section 3. Ancient technology, electricity, or extraterrestrials. So, when simple copper tools and wooden sleds completely fail to explain the sheer perfection of the Great Pyramid, researchers inevitably start to question the very limits of ancient technology. Did the Egyptians possess some kind of lost knowledge? Or, as some of the more controversial theories suggest, did they have help from somewhere else entirely? We can explore this by looking at a rapid-fire list of some truly mind-bending anomalies. First up, geolocation. The Great Pyramid is built precisely at the center of all the Earth's landmass. Coincidence? Maybe. Then there's alignment. It points perfectly to true north, with a level of accuracy we genuinely struggle to achieve today. How about physics? In 2018, researchers discovered the pyramid's chambers actually concentrate electromagnetic energy. Then we look at artifacts. The Dendral Temple features carvings that look shockingly like modern glass light bulbs with electric filaments, which, by the way, might explain why there's absolutely no soot from fire torches inside the pyramid's dark tunnels. And finally, engineering. The stones feature laser-smooth cuts that modern engineers say would literally require high-powered diamond saws today. All of these incredible anomalies lead some folks to look at ancient Egyptian mythology through a totally different lens. See, the Egyptians actually wrote about beings called the Neteru. These were known as the Watchers or Guardians. Basically, incredibly powerful figures who supposedly came from the sky, possessed advanced tools, and taught humanity how to build and understand the universe. Some researchers even point to carvings in the Temple of Abydos that seemingly depict things like a helicopter, a spaceship, and futuristic aircraft. Now, while skeptics will tell you these are just artistic misinterpretations or overlapping carvings, others can't help but wonder, were the Neteru simply myths, or were they actual visitors from another world? We definitely aren't taking a side here, but it is undeniably fascinating to see how the source material presents this whole debate. Section 4. The Cosmic Connection, a Message in the Stars. All right, zooming out from earthly anomalies all the way up to the cosmos. If you look at the three pyramids of Giza from directly above, you will notice a genuinely incredible pattern. They perfectly, and I mean perfectly, mirror the three stars in the belt of the Orion constellation. To the ancient Egyptians, this definitely wasn't just some random coincidence. Their god of the afterlife, Osiris, was heavily associated with Orion. They believed the souls of the pharaohs literally traveled to those exact stars to join the gods. The precision of this earthly map mirroring the night skies suggests a level of astronomical knowledge that is just breathtaking. Was it just a beautiful tribute, or was it a mathematical message deliberately directed at the stars? And what's perhaps even more perplexing about all this is that it's a global phenomenon. Over in Mexico, the Mayans and Aztecs built nearly identical stepped pyramids. In China, huge ancient pyramids are hidden beneath lush forests. Down in Bosnia, structures have been discovered that some claim are pyramids even older than the ones at Giza. Think about that for a second. These civilizations were separated by vast oceans and thousands of miles, living at times with absolutely no way to communicate with one another. Yet somehow, they all built the exact same mathematically precise star-aligned structures. How does that happen? Was someone, or something, guiding them all with the exact same blueprint? Ultimately, the Great Pyramid of Giza is so much more than just a tomb or a monument. It's a profound message, standing completely silent out there in the desert. It challenges literally every limit we place on human history. Whether it was built by pure human ingenuity, some kind of lost ancient technology, or maybe even otherworldly guidance, it proves one thing for sure: the impossible is achievable. It forces us to sit back and ask, if ancient humans 4,500 years ago could perfectly align millions of tons of stone with the stars and the exact center of the Earth, what are we truly capable of today? The real power isn't just hiding in those stones, it's in the limitless potential of the human mind. So keep questioning, keep searching, and absolutely never stop wondering. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.